YouTube. This is a good one. Sitting down with the NeuraLink's first brain chip implanted patient. Me personally, I've heard of it. Like, I've heard that they were going to do it, but I didn't know that somebody actually got it done. Like, and you're basically the test. At the end of the day, you're the test subject. Me personally, I wouldn't want to be the test subject in any of this, and I wouldn't get this at all. But I heard that there's benefits, so let's see.
In January, Elon Musk announced that for the first time, his company NeuraLink implanted a brain chip in a human as part of a preliminary clinical.
And like, what makes you like? Why would you allow? I know it's like Elon Musk doing it personally, but why would you allow Elon Musk to put something in your brain? Like that's like me going to Dodge saying, "Oh, we're gonna put a NeuraLink so that you can manually drive your car with your brain," because I drive a Dodge. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
This is
fascinating. It just doesn't make sense.
NeuraLink aims to help people living with debilitating conditions communicate and control external devices with their thoughts. Now, Will Reeves sat down with the patient who received that implant in an exclusive broadcast interview. He is with us now.
So, like, how does it work? Like, if I just sit there and just, like, think about something, then, like I said, I'm not really familiar.
The story here, it's a big one.
It certainly is, DeMarco. It's the future is arriving faster and faster these days, and it was my honor to get to sit with Nolan Darboh.
You know what's funny? How people think that, like, right now we'd be in flying cars and just living in this futuristic city. And I mean, to a certain extent, it is futuristic. We literally have computers on our phones, but not really like what they thought it was going to be.
Who was a fantastic subject, a great guy. He's been through a lot, paralyzed for nearly 8 years now, but he says this NeuraLink device has really changed his life.
I didn't have anything to wake up for in the morning, and this has changed that for me.
In a GMA broadcast exclusive, Nolan Darboh, the first human implanted with a NeuraLink chip in his brain, is telling his story.
I accepted that I was paralyzed and that was my life. I always held out hope that it would all get better.
At 22 years old, Nolan says he dove headfirst in waist-deep water, struck something, and sustained a spinal cord injury.
That's sad. Like, that sucks. That really sucks.
Couldn't move from the shoulders down.
Dang.
From the time of your injury until earlier this year, what was your daily life like?
I mean, one thing about being paralyzed is that there's a lot of time to sit and think. So I thought through basically my whole life and realized all the mistakes I'd made and what I could do better.
Then just last
year, like, if you're paralyzed, you really do, like, just have time to just sit there and think, like, because you can't really move. Not even you can't move. You can't go out and do the things that you normally did. But I mean, to me, I believe everything just happens for a reason. And if it was God's plan, like, if I got paralyzed, then it was God's plan for that to happen to me. But yeah, I mean, he's not lying.
Now 30, receiving a life-changing opportunity.
One day, one of my buddies from college called me up. We talked pretty regularly, and he was like, "Hey, NeuraLink, they opened up the human trials." And I said, "What's NeuraLink?"
You know what this kind of sounds like? This kind of sounds like one of those episodes that you would see, like, on TV, and it's the person, like, they're disabled or whatever, and like you said, the friend calls and they see like an ad like, "Oh, you should try it out because it might help you in certain ways," and they specifically pick you to go through this procedure, and then in the long run, it works fine. You're getting all the press conference, and then afterwards, like, it just goes haywire, which I hope doesn't happen to him. I hope nothing happens to him. But that's just what it sounds like those TV shows. Like, to be honest, we're really living in a Black Mirror episode. Every single day is a Black Mirror episode for us.
Is an experimental implantable brain computer.
Shout out Black Mirror 2. That's my favorite show of all time.
A chip surgically implanted by a robot and connected by threads to a patient's brain that allows the patient to control a computer or smartphone with their mind.
This is all from there to there.
So his mind is basically the mouse, essentially.
NeuraLink is not the only company working on this technology. Several others.
Like, imagine me, like, at the end of the day, this is going to become a norm in maybe like 15, 20 years. Like everybody's gonna have the NeuraLink, and then everybody's gonna have like the Apple Pay in their skin. That way they could just reach their arm out and pay and things like that. And to be honest, that's pretty scary. Like especially because I know I'll be living through it. Like that's honestly a scary thing. And like, what if one day they say, "Oh, it's mandated. Like you have to get this chip in you, or you have to get these chips in you," and certain things like that. Like it's definitely innovative, but it's also just crazy to just wrap around your mind, like thinking that a technology is like just doing that much for you, and it's in your brain. Like it's just insane.
BCIs in paralyzed volunteers. Nolan now joins that small group as Neuralink's first patient.
I was just very happy that I would be a part of something that
I wonder,
was
like,
so monumental. And
I wonder
this
why they
next
chose
step
him
forward of
specifically.
helping people
Like I wonder what
with
their
paralysis.
procedure
What can
was
you do now?
when trying to figure out the best candidates and who should get it first and whatnot.
Chip implanted that you could not do prior.
I can control a computer just like anyone else can, which is not something I was able to do beforehand.
It's fire.
You just played some music?
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. Do you worry because you are the first patient that something unforeseen could go wrong now that
Right, because like I said, if I was the first patient, I would be terrified. I mean, it's cool that you could say, "Oh, I'm the first person to ever have this," but like you are literally the experiment. You're the experiment.
is inside your head?
I wouldn't say worry. It was something where I knew that if I did this, then it would take a lot of headache and heartache away from the people down the road.
Just last week, news that some of the threads in Nolan's brain had retracted, affecting the performance of the device.
How'd you take the news when they told you that the threads had retracted?
Yeah, it was really hard. It was very, very hard to give up all of the amazing things that I was able to do. I think I had cried basically afterwards.
The problem becoming an opportunity for
That's
the makers
insane.
of NeuraLink to explore solutions.
The reason we do clinical trial and early feasibility trial is to uncover these sort of issues as early as possible before they get marketed. And we
Okay, so say what happens if, say you're just using the NeuraLink and then because literally anything could happen. They say all of the wires just I don't know, or they just rip out. I don't know, or it just disconnects, just shuts off on you, and then it because it shuts off on you, it affects something else in your brain, and then it just anything it's just
found
crazy.
various different ways to for Nolan be able to recover his performance, which we have successfully been able to do.
As for Nolan, the future of the technology only looks bright.
It's going to be amazing.
So I wonder how he's able to control everything with his mind. I wonder if there's a USB chip that he has to stick into the TV or the game system for him to be able to do it. I mean, this way it is genuinely pretty cool that he can go from being paralyzed to doing things that he wasn't able to do before after he got paralyzed. So that's really cool to see. Like I said, there is good things, but to me, the bad is always gonna not even the bad. The uncertainty is always gonna weigh out the good.
One can have a spinal cord injury, go to a hospital, get surgery, and walk out a couple days later. I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's as far away as people might think.
Story. And Will, you mentioned that this isn't the first of this kind of technology. Why do you think we're hearing so much about this particular one?
Because it's
Well, there
Elon
is
Musk.
the Elon Musk of it all, Eva, the billionaire.
Duh.
Of course, draws attention everywhere he goes. Neuralink's main thing is the tiny little threads that are thinner than a human hair that are implanted in a participant or a patient's brain. That is what they're advancing the most in their technology. There are a lot of companies doing it. Elon Musk does help bring the attention.
I can't get enough of this story. So when could this implant be made more widely available?
Well, DeMarco, anything with medical breakthroughs, generally, the time horizon is measured in years. But DJ Suh, the co-founder of Neuralink, did tell me that his company is planning to implant participants number 2 and 3 in these trials in just the coming months. So they
That's
are looking
insane. They're looking for the next two victims, essentially. That's the way I'm gonna call it. The next 2 victims. That's insane. Like, and I wonder if the next person, if they're gonna have them just be, you know, nothing's wrong with them. I don't want to say wrong with them, but you know, nothing's wrong with them. Like, they can move, and as opposed to the first recipient that they had. Like, I wonder how they're gonna roll it out. I feel like that is how they would roll it out. They're gonna roll it out with somebody who like is just fully disabled, who's partially disabled, and who's just not disabled at all. I feel like that way you can see each spectrum of what it would be like for each human and how it would react and how they can move on day to day. To me, like, I kind of just see it as the what was it, the Apple Vision Pros? That's basically how I look at it. Just me being like, you know, being able to function and everything like that. That's just how I visually see it.
These trials, as are other companies of similar nature.
Some fascinating stuff. Well, you mentioned that there was a problem with the connective threads. So what has Neuralink done to fix that problem for the future?
Right.
Well, Dr. Darian, what the problem was those threads retracting, which basically in layman's terms means that the device wasn't working as well. But what Neuralink did was go in, tweak the algorithm, and they claim now his BPS.
Wait, so it's just based off of an algorithm? I mean, of course it's based off of, but I thought they meant like the actual thread, like they were showing in the thing. So when he said thread, it just meant like, it was almost like a malfunction. So what if somebody just hacks that? And then they're just hacking into your brain. Like, I'm telling you, I could never, ever get this. Like,
second, that is
it's just
the
insane.
standard measurement for how this stuff works. They've actually improved it, they say, versus when Nolan was initially implanted. So this is all uncharted territory for the most part. So they're figuring it out.
Like I said, you're really the guinea pig. Like, they're really just testing it on you, essentially.
Hey, cover girls.
All right, y'all. That'll cap it off for this video. Let me know if you would get it implanted. Like, if there was an incentive, say if they gave you 50 grand. 50 grand, are you getting it implanted in your brain? Me personally, like I said, I don't think there's any amount of money that they could give me to make me want to get that implanted into me, personally. But, yeah, like I said, comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and, you know, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys later. Peace.